Shining people, my name is Allie from Geek and Faerie Tarot, and it's that time again to look at the forecast for the month ahead. And I am so excited to be using my new deck for this month's reading. I am the proud new owner of the Alice Tarot. I've been wanting this for so long. This is actually the second edition. I didn't want to spend the amount to get the first edition, but I splurged and I got the second edition, and I'm really happy with my purchase. So I am taking this opportunity to use it for our Universal July Tarot reading. So here we go. So card number 1 is the Three of Coins reversed. So here we have the Duchess's cook, and if you know the story, then you know she was making quite a scene by throwing pepper and smashing dishes and cutlery. And so there's kind of this feeling of seeking attention for our work this month. Perhaps you feel unnoticed in your job, or maybe you're in a job where you thought it would make you happy, but that hasn't worked out. Are there other ways you could be seeking that kind of fulfillment that you were looking for if you're not getting it from your work? Are you working for the right reasons? Are you communicating effectively with your team? And by team, that could include employees, colleagues, mentors, superiors, clients, customers, anybody related to your job or your source of income. And for some of us, maybe we're feeling a little bit stuck and we can't see a way to advance. So like we've maybe come as far as we can, sort of the ladder has stopped. Maybe we have to move sideways before we can go back up. And we're feeling like there's no challenge anymore, or we're wondering what's the point of staying in this job if we're not being challenged, or we're not receiving that kind of fulfillment and satisfaction that we were hoping we would get in that line of work. Now, let's look at card number 2. I have pulled the King of Coins, so another coin card. And here we have the White King eating his ham sandwich. So although he is king, he moves very slowly on the chessboard. He comments in the story that there is a lot happening around him. He sees the lion and the unicorn fighting. The queen is always jetting off in other places, and he can't quite keep up with her. But he sort of accepts that there's not much he can do about it, and he just continues eating, sort of accepting his limitations and eating his ham sandwich. So in a way, he's kind of practical and down to earth, so he doesn't worry about things that are beyond his control, and he just continues to enjoy his food. Now, there may be some wisdom associated with that kind of outlook or that mentality, but what we're experiencing here is likely that there's some challenge accepting the status quo, and that's going to be difficult for a lot of us for the month of July. We're itching for something just a little bit more exciting than the status quo. Now, the third card I pulled is the 10 of Coins reversed. And here we have the Mad Hatter juggling some cupcakes. I'll show you upright. And to me, this is the universe telling us that we have permission to sacrifice some financial stability for something a little bit more fun and a little bit more exciting. So maybe that means dipping into your savings account and taking that vacation that you've always wanted. Maybe it means quitting your job altogether, giving up that steady paycheck for something you find a little more challenging, more fulfilling, and a lot less stressful. So when I look at all 3 cards together, because they're all coins, so that means that there's a lot of earth energy, a lot of things involving the material world, our jobs, our careers, our sources of income. So when I look at these 3 cards together, let me just make sure I'm holding them up in order. I think I am. When I look at these 3 cards together, I see the story. So here, remember, we have the cook. A story of a person who in their job is practically self-sabotaging themselves or sabotaging their career because they know they want something different, but they're too afraid to quit. just like the cook who is smashing plates and throwing pepper and making everyone around her sneezy and irritable. And maybe bad attention is better than no attention at all, but it could get us into some trouble. Now we move over to the king, who is convinced possibly that there's nothing better out there for him, so he's just accepting what is. He already has the crown, so he can't really go any higher. He might as well just stay where he is, accept what he's got, and enjoy what he has. Now, that is one option. The other is to shake things up. So if you can't move up, you can always move sideways. Just like the Mad Hatter over here, who is much more playful. So it might mean just taking a break from work and enjoying some play, and that's maybe all you need. For others, it might be something a bit more, bigger decision, like a big career change. So quitting your job altogether, giving up that paycheck, and moving on to something else that's going to bring you a lot more happiness and satisfaction. Now, the other thing that I noticed about these three cards, another similarity, is that they all involve food. So they're all coins, they're all earth, they're all representing that material realm of nature, food, wealth, and just things, property, things, material possessions. And in the first card, we see cooking the food, which is sort of like putting in all the hard work and effort before you reap the benefits. The next is the king, who is holding his food, presumably about to eat his food. And then he's going to have nothing. You can't have your ham sandwich and eat it too. And the last card is the Hatter, who is throwing his food around. He's playing with his food. He's changed the purpose of food. So I feel like there is a metaphor in there about working to live, to survive, and be responsible, but you aren't really living if you don't incorporate any fun. There has to be a shift in thinking, and this is done by simply looking at actions and results. So it may require some resourcefulness, because that's another quality of that earth energy, resourcefulness, looking at the things you have and making the best use of them. Some shifting of the budget and the financial planning may be required, but it will have real positive results on your health and happiness. Now, back to the old tradition of pulling an affirmation card from the Good Tarot. And this month I pulled the 10 of Fire. Now let me read from the book of the Good Tarot for you. I may be overcommitted and have taken on too many burdens. In this moment, I do the work of decluttering my life. All that I release will take new form and serve the greater whole, but I no longer need to hold on to it simply because it once seemed to have value for me. I thank it for what it did for me, but say goodbye to the emotions, relationships, and situations that I realize do not belong in my life anymore. So that could be letting go of a little bit of your savings account for that vacation or that special treat. It could be giving up that paycheck, sacrificing. Stop being a slave to the paycheck. It had value for you once. Maybe it's not as valuable anymore. And that can be really scary for some people, and that's not going to apply to everybody, but it will apply to some of you. Now, I want to point out one other thing that I noticed. If you look at these two cards, you'll notice not only are they both tens, and tens symbolize things coming to an end, but they both show figures that are juggling things. They're juggling a lot of things. So in this card, she's juggling her responsibilities and they are burning up. See those pages, like her to-do list is burning up to represent all those responsibilities disappearing from her life. She's putting an end to overcommitting and spending her energy working for something that no longer brings her any value. So replace those burdens with things that bring you joy, like cupcakes. Follow your bliss. This month can be a transition month for many people as you slowly start to find new direction until you feel confident enough to call it quits altogether. But the direction is phasing something out. Remember these 10s, something's coming to an end. It's time to let go. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to put things down and do that evaluation of what you need now. Because what you had before, it had its day, it had its moment. It's time to move on. And so with all these coins, all these coin cards, it likely has something to do with possessions or sources of income. So that is our tarot forecast for the month of July 2019. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you're watching on Facebook, come find me on YouTube. Until next time, guys, stay shiny and keep sparkling. Bye.